These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Sheila, August 3rd until August 15th. Come on RV, RV, RV. 15th of each month is the day UN makes exchange rate updates. Mountain Goat, so in the recent article from 8/2, Prime Minister Mustafa Al Kazimi announced the start of implementing the administrative and executive mechanisms of the economic reform plan within the white paper. So it has officially now begun. The article told us that the Prime Minister chaired the meeting of the Higher Committee for Reform. So they actually now have a committee to address the white paper reforms. This is very good news. Mount Goat says there is a statement quoted by Al Kazimi in the article as saying that since we launched the reform white paper to address the rampant corruption in the country, we are working to create an appropriate atmosphere for its application. This statement means that they need to address and clean up the corruption before they can take on many of these white paper reforms, so they need security and stability once again. One of these reforms we know is the project to delete the zeros, which eventually will get us to the bank sooner than later. All right, Bob the Taxman says the IQD, as we know, is going to be treated as ordinary income. It is not going to be treated as capital gains. It can't be. That's impossible. This is how this works. You take your IQD in your lovely little hands, you go to your local bank, you exchange it for dollars. As soon as that happens, you have a taxable event, except under the umbrella of CRUT. What you did is step into the highest tax rate possible. This is the one that's going to grab you. Now, what's really interesting is under the Biden administration, anybody who makes over $1 million is really going to get bit. Bob the Taxman says, so when you take a look at the IQD and all the dreams you got affiliated and attached to it, you got to remember you're going to have some constraint unless you're willing to give up almost 60% of your gains. Are you really willing to do that? Are you willing to give up that much simply because I don't care and you run down to the bank and cash it in? It will creep up and bite you in the butt. Note at the appropriate time, speak with your tax professionals to develop the best strategy for you and always pay your taxes. All right, Breitling says they're going to revalue no matter what. The question is the speed the value is going to go up from a starting point. The only effect on the dinar I can see is the U.S. pulling out the troops. So that's what you have to decide when that day comes, when you can exchange, not cash in, but exchange. How far can you go in Iraq? How far can you depend on them? And that's up to you. It's tough to know, but the point is you have a plan one way or the other. Most people don't have a plan at all, so you're good, you're golden. Frank 26, there are a lot of meetings going on right now. The most powerful ones are the IMF and the CBI. They just meet and meet and meet, and it's fantastic. It's all going really nice. The IMF is having powerful meeting with the CBI and Kazemi. They're talking about the monetary reform. All of the meeting happening between the CBI and Kazemi are on the currency of Iraq. All right, militiaman, one of the key components of an exchange rate is going to be what was it priced at. They tell us in the past a price that was quite popular. I'm not one to think that 1166 or 1182 or 1190 or 1460 was ever popular, but what's popular? If none of those are popular, we can safely presume that something prior to that, quote, restoring the exchange of the dollar against the dinar to its previous price is popular demand by all the people. They know their history. If we're going to go back to when we had purchasing power, it's obviously not 1190 because they were looking for purchasing power while they were at 1190. So it's pretty good. Pimpy article, quote, a new statement from the U.S. administration about repealing the Iraq War Authorization Act of 2002. We already know this. Biden already said it, did it, it's done. We're moving out the troops. All is good. Right. Frank 26 says, Iraq right now is on a mission with its monetary reform to depeg from the American dollar. They want to stay on par with the American dollar, but they're ready to depeg, stay on par, go into the international theater, and let the value of the Iraqi dinar go up outside their borders in the international markets. In my opinion, the CBI and Kazemi are not going to wait much longer.